Yo, Pierre, you wanna come around?
Ice up. Ice what?
Whoa, whoa, baby, poke it out, whoa, poke it out, poke it out.
Alright, what's up everybody? So today we're going to be doing the Saints vs. Titans preview and predictions, and as promised, I'm here today with Big Boy Jinx TV. If you guys don't know who he is someone that makes Saints YouTube videos extremely consistently, trying to get his legs in the water, trying to get afloat. So if you guys enjoy what you see from him today, I'm not going to force you to go over there, but you should go over there, show some support to him, click that subscribe button, make the man's day. So, Jinx, is there a point that you'd like to start with today?
Yes, the main important part that we need to start off with is Derrick Henry. Now, we all know he's a big part of their offense, actually one of the main parts of their offense. So far on the year, Derrick Henry has 271 carries and 1,300 yards, and he's averaging a 4.9 yards per carry with 13 touchdowns. Based on those simple stats right there on the season, it's kind of obvious that he's a big part of this offense, and stopping him would really shut this offense down.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I have here that the Titans won their 4 of their last 5 games, and he had over 100 rushing yards each game besides the game they lost. That was versus the Houston Texans. So it's obvious that once Derrick Henry gets going, the Titans can really put up points and really set up play action later on inside the pass game.
Yeah, no, you're right, dude. Like you said before, they've won 4 out of their last 5 with Henry having over 100 yards. In the game they did lose, he had under 100 yards. On the season, they're actually 5-0 when Derrick Henry has 100+ yards. So getting him going is definitely a very important part to, 1, keeping the opposing quarterback off the field for the team that they're playing, 2, tiring out the defense that they're playing, and just boosting overall morale. He does a really good job at doing what he does. He's a very strong ground and pound running back. He has a tough test today in the Saints defense, which we'll go over in a bit. I have some stats written down for them. But now that we got Derrick Henry out of the way, we've both established this dude is very important. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yeah, there is one thing. He is kind of suffering with a hamstring injury that could affect his play inside tomorrow's game. We all know that he did not practice on Thursday, but he did have a full practice just recently. So we could look out for Derrick Henry maybe a little banged up inside his performance on Sunday's game.
Yeah, and we all know how hamstring injuries are. They linger, and they tend to mess with players' plays. Like players get sidelined for weeks. We just seen Adam Thielen. He was injured for like 4 to 5 weeks with a hamstring injury, so those are no joke.
I want to add on to the Titans offense is Ryan Tannehill. Now we all know he was not the greatest quarterback back in Miami, but he had some few offensive weapons, Derrick Henry being one of them, to really help him really show out. His last 5 games, he averaged 258.4 yards per game throwing the ball with 2 interceptions. Now, that's decent for Ryan Tannehill. Actually, it's good for Ryan Tannehill, but decent for a normal NFL quarterback. And I feel like he's doing just enough for the Titans to get wins, because their defense, we can talk about them in a little bit.
Yeah, like you said, Ryan Tannehill has been very, it's like he found a new home in Tennessee. There was like a 4-game span or something like that where he had like over a 130 passer rating, which is really impressive. Of course, that got snapped last Sunday. He had like a 117.8 rating, if I could remember that off the top of my head. But he, like you said, has been doing just enough to put the Titans in position for comfortable wins. Like he's been actually extremely good. This is probably the best he's ever played in his career. We all seen flashes from him in Miami, but of course, when you're in Miami, it likely isn't going to work out.
All right, so my next point is the New Orleans Saints' most important point that has to start now. Alvin Kamara. Now, we all know he has not had the best season. He's not looking the greatest right now. But I promise you, this game will be his breakout game. One thing I did notice about Alvin Kamara in last game is that Sean Payton kind of forced Alvin Kamara the ball, gave him a little more carries, threw his way a little more times, and I feel like once he gets into the end zone, he's gonna have a nose for it and really find his way back to his old ways.
I think he's just lacking confidence right now because it's hard for your morale to stay up when the scripted plays you're getting just aren't working out for you and they never change. It's always a pitch to the outside, and you can't just expect Alvin Kamara to break 7 tackles. Like, he's a very good running back, but he's not superhuman. So there's obviously a line that needs to be drawn. I think if we give him more runs up the middle and allow him to use his shiftiness on the inside, it might open up some alleys for him, and it might be just what he needs to get his confidence back as a trip to the end zone.
But another thing is that if we all notice, Latavius Murray, his carries, they drop tremendously. Like, from those 230 carry games before over 100 yards, they drop down to 7, 8, 9 carries a game. And I feel like there's a reason for that. Not because Sean Payton just wants to just throw him off to the side, because he knows that Latavius Murray is a great running back and he can potentially be a starting running back in NFL. I just feel like he's doing it on purpose. And what I mean by that is he is showing that Alvin Kamara is eventually going to be implemented into the offense more than he already is. I feel like Alvin Kamara is going to get more carries. I just feel like this game here versus the Tennessee Titans, this is Alvin Kamara's game to show everyone that he's not a slouch and that he's going to be back to his old ways.
I agree with you. I think that if there is a game that Alvin Kamara will do it the regular season, this will be it. He may just not fully click until we hit the playoffs. Either way, that's fine. But we do need to see something from him soon, and it's not just because, he's not the same or he's just not doing this or that. It's a very, very, very nice safety blanket for this offense to have. And of course, like you said, Latavius Murray's carries have dropped, which is insane because after what he showed during those games, I was almost certain that we were going to get a 50-50 split between him and Kamara because he was running the ball with power, strength, elusiveness. He was doing everything he needed to do to try to break out and put the ball in the end zone. He was scoring. He was doing all of these things. I was just assuming that maybe the carries would be split, but of course, as you said, that's not what's happened. I think Alvin Kamara is Sean Payton is trying to make a statement with Alvin Kamara, running him more, trying to, force the ball to Kamara, try to get him going, and I understand why, but I think when you have a running back like Latavius Murray, you got to let him get the ball too.
Exactly.
All right, so there's some things I would like to mention, and we've all seen it. We've all noticed it. I've brought it up a billion times. It's the Drew Brees tirade. You've been noticing that, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, Drew Brees in the last 2 games has thrown 656 yards, has had 10 total touchdowns. He's playing like the league's best QB right now. Do you agree?
Totally agree.
I don't know how many quarterbacks can just throw 5 touchdowns against the number 1 defense in the league, rush for 1 against the number 1 defense in the league, throw 4 touchdowns against the Colts right after. Like, it's actually insane. And this week he's going against a middle of the pack, kind of mediocre pass defense of the Tennessee Titans, who, for some reason, I thought he was still playing. Malcolm Butler is on IR, which is their number 1 corner. They are 16th in the league total. They allow the 22nd highest completion percentage to be allowed, and they allow the 25th most yards per game, which is bad. I wrote that wrong, but it's bad. Their pass defense isn't very good. So I think if Drew Brees is gonna have a game where his tirade continues, man, this is it.
Exactly. And it's funny how he's doing this at the age of 40.
Yes, he's 40 years old.
Last season and the season before, Drew Brees is declining this, they declining that. But now everyone's a fan. Drew Brees is proving everyone wrong.
Yeah, it's like his position at this time, this year and last year, just has completely flip-flopped. You used to remember after that Dallas game last year, it just all went downhill. The offense wasn't playing as well. Everybody was saying he was regressing, like you said. But now it's like he's playing with some type of, vengeance. It's crazy to watch.
Speaking on the Titans secondary, the number 1 corner being out, there's a guy on New Orleans Saints, number 1-3. Malcolm Thomas is going to have a field day. Like you said, the Titans, middle of the pack, mediocre. Some good games, some bad games. Well, I'm sorry, Tennessee. This game will be a bad game for you. On the last 5 games, Michael Thomas has averaged 105 receiving yards per game. And he's averaging 9.4 receptions per game in the last 5 games. And not only that, the last 5 games, he has 4 touchdowns.
Whoa, I didn't know that. Wow. Okay.
The one touchdown, the one game he didn't have a touchdown was against Atlanta. That's when we were like couldn't really find ourselves. But after we rebounded, Michael Thomas has scored a touchdown in every other game besides that. And people say the Saints only have Michael Thomas this, Michael Thomas that, but he always finds a way to be open. If we're so-called one-dimensional, if we are only solely Michael Thomas, then why is he still having performances in the way he's having? 12 targets, 12 catches last game, over 100 yards. Like, what else do we have to say? Michael Thomas is going to feed. Drew Brees is Then Traquan Smith, he's showing up. And then don't get me started on Jared Cook. Who, please,
Jared Cook.
Man. The passing game, the passing offense is looking its best yet all season. And I'm glad to say that because I'm really happy that the offense is booming as well as it is late this season, heading into playoffs.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. The time we peaked last year was just unacceptable. A lot of people were talking about how we peaked early and we got figured out towards the end of the season and everything just kind of fell downhill. Well, nobody really knows how to defend us right now. Of course, you have Michael Thomas, who, like you said, I don't understand how, but he has every man on the field's attention, yet still, he still has great games. Like you said, 12 targets, 12 receptions last week. That is absolutely insane. I didn't even know he had a touchdown in each of the last 4 games. That's a very interesting stat. It's nice to see him finally getting in the end zone too. Like this is crazy. Everything's going right now for this offense, and I'm sorry, Tennessee's passing defense. You just had to play us at the wrong time. But the next thing I'd like to talk about is something that I really think skews the way that games go, and that is the trenches. The games are usually won in the trenches. Now, when you look at it, I got a very interesting stat for you, Jinx. Not this one, but the one after this. But the Saints' offensive line is the second best in the league, second only to Dallas, allowing only 21 sacks on the season. That being said, they've played multiple games without Teron Armstead, who is one of the best in the league, without Andrus Peat. It speaks levels about how amazing our depth is. Now, they have a mediocre, again, challenge against the Titans' D-line, which is ranked 14th in the league. Now, if their pass defense is middle of the pack and their pressure is ranked middle of the pack, I don't really see how they're going to stop us. They have 36 sacks. They're 14th in the league. But this is where it gets interesting. Now, I think the Saints' offensive line has the edge over the Titans' defensive line. But this is something that it's a no-brainer. The Saints' defensive line, it's 4th overall in the league, bringing home 44 sacks. We're missing Sheldon Rankins and Marcus Davenport, but we brought in steady pressure against a top 10 defensive line against the Indianapolis Colts next week. Now, listen to this. I didn't know that they were this bad. I didn't. I literally looked at the stats and my mouth dropped wide open. The Titans' O-line is ranked 31st in the league, second to last, allowing 51 sacks on the year. That is horrible. They are literally only not dead last because of Miami. I'm looking for Cameron Jordan to have a 3-sack game.
When you're allowing that many sacks, the 31st in the league,
Yeah.
and with our
sacks.
defensive line being as deep at it as it is, even without Marcus Davenport, even without Sheldon Rankins, the New Orleans Saints are still getting pressure on quarterbacks. That's how deep we are on the defensive line. So the fact that they're that bad, Ryan Tannehill is going to turn on the motors and get the running out the pocket or something. Because It's not
He's
gonna.
in trouble for sure.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's pretty much. Actually, no. Well, my score prediction. That's what that's what I want to add.
Forgot about that too.
So, based off all the stats and all the opinions and all the facts that we've been over with, I took a lot of time on thinking about what this score is going to be. Am I going to be 100% correct? Have no idea. But, but I feel as though that the Saints are going to win this game, of course. 25 to 19. No, 25 to 20, my bad. 25 to 20, New Orleans Saints way. The Titans, they're fighting for a playoff spot. That's the only reason why I have this game being as close as it is. And the New Orleans Saints, of course, want that #1 seed, so we have to win out. So it's somewhat of a close game because both teams are in desperate measures at this point in time inside the season.
All right, yeah, I agree with you. I was gonna say 24-17, but we're pretty similar on the score there. Just an extra field goal for the Titans and another point for the Saints. So we both agree in a Saints win. Of course, these are two Saints channels, so make sure to let us know what you guys think. If you're a Titans fan, go ahead. But I don't think a Titans fan would have been able to sit through this entire video because they just match up horribly with us. All right, man. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we hop off?
Man, I just want to say thanks for the opportunity, and this is fun.
Of course. Thank you for coming on. All right, everybody. We'll see you in the next one. Adios.
Ballin' like Barkley, wrist so sparkly, internet surfing, feel like iCarly.